Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. These Chicago Fire characters have to attend Burzek's Chicago PD wedding. Kim Burgess, Marina Squirciati, and Adam Burzek, Patrick John Pfluger, are slowly making their way to their wedding day. It hasn't been the easiest stretch for either character, especially Burzek, but we cannot wait to see them set aside the demands of their day-to-day jobs and have a full-on wedding celebration. Weddings are pretty commonplace on Chicago Fire and Chicago Med, but PD has never been one to go all out. This will be the first, and as such, we think it's important that a few characters from 51 get an invite. The most obvious Chicago Fire character who should be present for the Burzek wedding is one Mouch, Christian Stolt. The character is married to Trudy Platt, Emmy Morton, who absolutely will be present, so that's a no-brainer. The other characters that come to mind are the result of more recent interactions. We think Stella Kidd, Miranda Ray Mayo, and Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney, should also be on hand to welcome the new couple. Now, Severide and Burgess are not especially close, but Kidd and Burzek got to know each other very well during the recent One Chicago crossover. Both characters were trapped underground with civilians and forced to rely on their wits and each other to make it out alive. Kidd and Burzek never had a ton of screen time prior to the crossover, but it was obvious from the rip that they are like-minded. They became friends down there, and bonded over the fact that they may have never gotten to see their significant others again. Plus, Miranda Ray Mayo and Patrick John Pfluger are friends in real life. The latter told TV Insider that they have hung out and traveled together for years, and were eager to finally bring their friendship to the small screen. Miranda and I have been quite close for a long time, Pfluger stated. We travel together, we're pals outside of everything, so getting to finally actually act with her, which I've never done before, and if we have, it's been with a lot of people around, so to do a little one-on-one with her was really fun. We had a good time, really supportive of each other. Stella Ride are even in the process of adopting a child, which means yet another similarity to Burzek and their daughter, Michaela Ramona Edith Williams. Given how much fans enjoyed seeing Kidd and Burzek interact, and how close the actors playing them in real life are, we feel like it would make a lot of sense to have Stella Ride attend the PD wedding that'll close out season 12. The long-awaited wedding of Kim Burgess and Adam Burzek, affectionately known as Burzek, was finally happening, and Chicago was abuzz with excitement. The intelligence unit had seen their fair share of heartbreak and chaos, so the idea of a grand celebration filled with love, laughter, and a little bit of whiskey felt like a well-earned victory. Of course, there was no question that their chosen family from Chicago Fire's Firehouse 51 had to be there. After all, firefighters and cops had an unbreakable bond in the Windy City, forged in the heat of life-or-death situations and strengthened by countless nights at Molly's. But when it came down to the guest list, certain members of 51 were absolutely essential to making Burzek's wedding one for the history books. 1. Kelly Severide, the reluctant best man. Burzek had considered making Atwater his best man, but then he had a wild idea. What if Kelly Severide, the most effortlessly cool guy in the city, was the one standing beside him at the altar? At first, Severide had flat-out refused. "You know, I barely do weddings, man." But after relentless persuasion and a little guilt-tripping from Kidd, Severide caved. Severide, ever the brooding firefighter, didn't do big speeches, so his toast was a simple but perfect line: "Burzek, if you screw this up, don't call me for backup. Kim, you've got my number if you need to throw him in the lake." And just like that, the room erupted into laughter. 2. Stella Kidd, the maid of honor's secret weapon. Haley Upton was Kim's maid of honor, but when it came to executing the bachelorette party, she needed help from a professional. Enter Stella Kidd. "Listen," Kidd had said, "I run a firehouse full of stubborn, reckless men. Planning a wild night for Kim, child's play." And wild it was. Kidd took the squad to a high-end rooftop bar, but things spiraled quickly into an impromptu karaoke battle, an intense dart game against a group of bikers, and somehow a late-night donut run with Trudy Platt. 3. Mouch, the wedding's emotional backbone. It was no secret that Mouch was the heart of Firehouse 51, and that extended to the entire One Chicago universe. When Mouch got wind of the wedding, He immediately started crafting a heartfelt speech. "I have seen a lot of partnerships in my time," he said, voice thick with emotion during the reception, "and I can tell you this, there's no greater thing than finding someone who has your back, on the job and in life. Kim and Adam, you two are proof that even through all the ups and downs, love wins." By the time he finished, even Voight was blinking away a tear. 4. Sylvie Brett, the dress whisperer. Kim had picked out a dress, but something didn't feel quite right. Enter Sylvie Brett, the paramedic with an eye for romance and impeccable taste. "This isn't just any wedding," Brett had said. "It's Burzek's wedding. We need something that screams badass detective, but also romantic queen." After an afternoon of trying on dresses, Brett found the one. A stunning but simple gown that made Burgess feel powerful, beautiful, and ready to say "I do." 5. Christopher Herman, the keeper of the booze. No Chicago wedding was complete without Molly's being heavily involved. Herman, naturally, took it upon himself to make sure the bar at the reception was fully stocked. "Burzek, you're polish. We're going heavy on the vodka," he said matter-of-factly. "Burgess, you're tough as nails, so I'm guessing whiskey. And for the rest of us, we drink whatever keeps Trudy from yelling at us." The drinks flowed, and at one point, Bowden and Voight had a whiskey-fueled heart-to-heart that no one would ever speak of again. 6. Chief Bowden, the wedding's voice of wisdom. It was fitting that Chief Wallace Bowden would be there. He had guided so many firefighters through tough times, and now he was offering wisdom to one of Chicago's finest couples. "Marriage, like the job, isn't always easy," Bowden said during the ceremony, "but when you find the right partner, you never face the fire alone." There wasn't a dry eye in the house. 7. Joe Cruz, the dance floor king. Cruz had one job at the wedding: get everyone on the dance floor. And as soon as the DJ dropped the first beat, Joe Cruz was in full party mode. Dragging Burzek onto the floor, Cruz shouted, "Dude, if you don't dance at your own wedding, I'm putting it in the report." Soon, Severide and Kidd were showing off their moves. Mouch was attempting to moonwalk, and even Voight, yes, Hank Voight, was doing a subtle, approving head bob. 8. Blake Gallo and Violet McCamey, the Chaos Crew. Every wedding needed a little bit of mischief, and Gallo and Violet delivered. Gallo was caught trying to sabotage Burzek's car with just merry decorations that somehow involved a ridiculous amount of foam peanuts. Meanwhile, Violet started a betting pool on how long before Burzek cried, the winning answer, as soon as he saw Kim walking down the aisle. 9. Cap and Tony, the unexpected heroes. In true Chicago Fire fashion, things couldn't go completely smoothly. Mid-reception, a fuse blew, plunging the venue into darkness. But did Burzek panic? No, because Cap and Tony, the unspoken heroes of Firehouse 51, had their toolkits on them. "Give us 5 minutes," Cap said, disappearing into the back. Sure enough, the lights flickered back on just in time for Kim and Adam's first dance. A night to remember. As the night wound down, Kim and Adam stood together, watching their friends celebrate. The firefighters and the cops, two teams that always had each other's backs, laughing, drinking, dancing like nobody was watching. "You know," Adam said, pulling Kim closer, "I don't think we just got married. I think we just threw the best damn party Chicago's ever seen." Kim smiled, resting her head against his shoulder. "That's because we've got the best damn family." And as Firehouse 51 and the intelligence unit raised their glasses one last time, there was no doubt, this was a night that would go down in one Chicago history.